So this painting I was telling you all earlier, it's a little gas station not too far from my house, and in fact if you were to go back up this block and this way, like 3 or 4 houses is where I grew up. So my family still lives there, my parents still live there, and this was functioning gas station when I was a little kid. A guy named Bernie ran it, and it was the kind of place where you'd go down there and you'd stop, you'd pull in, and they'd fill up your tank, and they'd wash your windows and stop and chat with you for a little while. I try and mix out a similar palette every day, you know, not the exact same because it depends on what I'm doing and sort of what I have in my head to accomplish for the session. But I like to kind of start with the same skeleton, and that way it gives me a unity, because these paintings will take several sessions to complete, but if I have kind of that same place that I'll start every time, there'll be the consistency. And I can kind of like ad-lib as needed, you know, but I keep out the same, basically the same lineup of colors pretty much all the time. But I start with like a cad yellow, and I have a Hansa yellow too. I got a Naples yellow because it's a little bit more opaque and it covers a little bit more solidly, gives it some heft. I've got yellow ochre for the same reason, a little bit more earthy. I've got like cadmium yellow, cad red light, cad red deep, quinacridone. My students hear me talk about this all the time because I love it. It's so bright. And then I've got a alizarin crimson, which is a little bit more kind of earthy but nice cool. And then I kind of have varying blues and greens. I usually use only phthalo green. And that's part of like my secret mix for an optical black. It's not really that secret. Nice. But it gives me a lot more control of the depth that I can achieve instead of using black straight out of the tube, because I find that is really flat, especially when mixed to other things. It just kills your chroma, anything it touches. So I find like being able to mix my own black, I can control the depth, you know, if I wanted it to come closer, sort of adding more reds, cad red light, carmine deep, maybe some more alizarin crimson to it. But, you know, I can cool it down with some phthalo blue or something like that. It just allows me to kind of play a little bit more. So that would be like some of my black right in there. I might kind of tinker with that. But the nice thing about it is if you were to tint it up, it gives you this interesting kind of like foggy, misty, almost kind of purpley situation here. So it's just got a lot more life to it. So I'm really into structure and really into the idea of how it tells a story and how it suggests the person that works there or lives there, or the town it belongs to, the way it acts as a landmark. So I will continue to look for those kinds of things in small towns. It's like you can recognize them even if I didn't grow up in that specific place. I know that that one is a particular landmark for the people who do live there. So I feel like that's a special talent, like a hidden talent or something that I have. It's like being able to recognize it. But I love to look for those kinds of things. And I'm also the person that gives directions, you know, drive to that specific building that looks like a whatever and take a left and keep going until you get to the house that's got like a pink garage door or whatever it is, and you've reached your destination.